We learned the identity of the sex abuse suspect who engaged with police in a standoff. We'll tell you his lengthy criminal history.
Plus, with fire season approaching, we're looking at the first manufactured home parks to be recognized as fire-wise.
And we're ending out this week with cool and wet weather, but warmer weather and a dry stretch is on the way. We'll talk more about it coming up in our next forecast.
Live, local, late breaking. This is NewsWatch 12 this morning.
Good morning. The time is 6 a.m. on March 21st. Welcome to NewsWatch 12 this morning. I'm Damian Alvarado.
And I'm Brinkley Hill. We're taking a live look at Medford, this view from the People's Bank on Bitter Road. But let's check in with Storm Tracker 12 meteorologist Sarah Kress. Sarah, what can people expect for their Friday, and what should they be planning for their weekend?
I think if you want to head outside this weekend, definitely push for Sunday, but I would say Saturday is not looking too bad. We'll see some lighter showers. But for your Friday, definitely we'll be dealing with some rain and more higher elevation snow. But if you want to head out, definitely get out there. And even as we head into next week, Monday and Tuesday looking absolutely beautiful. But this morning we are seeing precipitation move on over eastward. So we'll be seeing some lighter showers as we're heading over into areas like the Rogue Valley. We'll see more moderate precipitation over towards the coast and along the Cascades. And it's not as cold this morning. As you're waking up, it's 42 degrees in Medford, 34 in Klamath Falls, Montague 38, and 47 in Brookings. Now in the Rogue Valley, we'll be warming up not too much. Only a high of 53 for the day in Medford. And we will see periods of on and off rain throughout the day. A little bit of a break as we're heading late into the morning, early afternoon. But then we'll see some more light rainfall as we're heading overnight and even into tomorrow. We'll see those showers continue. Now around the rest of the region, those high temperatures, a high of 46 for Klamath Falls, Wairika 51, Brookings 50 degrees. We'll continue to see that rain throughout the day and into the Rogue Valley. Like I mentioned, showers wrap up tomorrow, but they will linger pretty much for the whole day. It will be a little bit lighter. Now Sunday is the day where we finally begin to dry out. Temperatures begin to warm up as well. We'll be into the mid 60s for Sunday, but next week we have some pretty good chances at making it into the upper 70s on Tuesday. So I'll break down what you can expect through this weekend coming up in our next forecast.
There was just this loud bang, and it was so loud and so heavy it actually shook the building, and then you could hear metal pieces like they were falling.
New this morning, a partial roof collapse at Crater Car Wash. The incident shook the building with such force that debris and metal pieces were heard falling throughout the area. Medford Fire Department confirmed on scene that they are investigating the cause of this collapse. MFD said during initial investigations, the collapse is likely due to heavy rain we've been seeing. No one was hurt and the car wash was unoccupied at the time, but we'll continue to follow this story and bring you the latest updates as they become available.
We are continuing our coverage of the Medford School Board meeting where a variety of topics were discussed. The main focus, especially during public comments, was a call for the board to move forward and refocus their attention on what matters most, the children and education. The board also discussed the district's budget, an update on the North Medford gym, and finalized the interim superintendent's contract. They also addressed 3 complaints filed against board chair Cynthia Wright, all of which were dismissed.
I believe I speak for many of us when I say that we are all rooting for this board to change the conversation. We're ready to stand behind you if you are ready to work towards redemption, reconciliation, and refocusing on our kids.
Overriding message from both parents at the meeting and board members was clear. It's time to focus on students and move forward together.
I want to be able to move forward and work together. I want us to be focused on students and be able to move past this.
With the recent resignation of Superintendent Dr. Champion and upcoming board elections, the board is aiming to reshift their focus. We will have more in-depth coverage on the meeting in later tonight's newscast on NewsWatch 12 at 5, 6, and 11. We're continuing to learn more details about the man who engaged with police in a standoff on Table Rock Road. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office said 36-year-old Franklin James Hodson was the suspect in the child sex abuse case. Hodson of Grants Pass was wanted on 1 warrant out of California for 15 sex abuse charges. He died by apparent suicide. You can find the full story on our website, kdrv.com.
With new administration in the White House and legislation waiting to be voted on in the Oregon legislature, NewsWatch 12 is looking at how it will affect the housing market. On Tuesday, Oregon legislatures introduced a bill to repeal the state's controversial wildfire hazard map. And for homeowners, insurance companies have been assessing property risk when setting rates. The cost of building and buying homes remains uncertain with the ongoing trade war and legislation still needing to be voted on, but the number of homes is increasing in Oregon, and competition to close a deal should heat up with the weather.
If somebody's been looking for quite a while, what they're likely going to see is a few more homes on the market than they were able to look at last fall. But at the same time, with more houses to see, I anticipate they'll be making a decision a lot quicker.
If you are looking for a home, ask how your insurance provider assesses fire risk. Nearly 5 years after the Alameda fire tore through the Rogue Valley, the cities of Medford and Phoenix will have their first manufactured home parks to be recognized as FireWise. San George Estates in Medford and Creekside Estates in Phoenix put in their application to be FireWise recognized. Being the first parks in their cities to be FireWise, San George Estates didn't get burned in the Alameda fire, but was told by officials that if winds didn't shift, the park may have burned down.
I can't imagine anything more devastating than losing everything you have, and I feel like we almost have to do it. It will help the residents and make their homes more safe.
The mobile parks have gotten help from the Firebrand Resiliency Collective's Ready Now program, the group working to make the region more prepared for wildfires, and say it's taken a long time to increase FireWise neighborhoods because of Alameda's recovery process. But more FireWise communities are coming along. The city of Ashland also getting ready for fire season with a wildfire preparedness event. In exactly 1 month, community members can learn steps to prepare for fire season by learning how to prepare by doing things like creating defensible space and preparing evacuation routes. The workshop will take place at Carpenter Hall on April 21st from 6 to 8 p.m.
Following recent storms, the Bureau of Land Management is warning that some trails may be closed or dangerous. Rain Falls Trail is temporarily closed due to landslides and erosion. The closure will be in place until crews can clear the trail. The Bureau of Land Management is also closing the Rogue River Trail due to a landslide from Grave Creek to Muriel. Crews have also not been able to access other trails to determine conditions, so BLM is asking that hikers use extreme caution when traveling on public lands.
Representative Al Hoyle is responding to President Donald Trump's order to dismantle the Department of Education this morning. In response to Trump's order, Representative Al Hoyle says, quote, "It seems there are no victims too small or too powerless for this administration to undercut in their quest to axe the programs working families rely on and pay for. Let's be clear, shuttering a federal agency requires an act of Congress, and this action is clear overreach. This executive order runs roughshod over the Constitution and the clear separations of power that it demands," end quote. And like many of the president's executive actions so far, this order is likely to face legal challenges.
The FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center has now issued a warning about the smishing scam that claims you owe money for unpaid tolls. The texts demand that you pay immediately to avoid a late fee and direct you to a fake toll service website. Do not click any link or provide personal information. Police recommend you delete the message and report the scam to the FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center.
The Rogue Valley Transportation District is inviting you to enjoy a free ride on Route 41. The new path goes through Central Point and makes stops at Albertsons, Providence, Crater High School, and Twin Creeks Park. The free ride promotion only applies today for Route 41. RVTD will also be hosting a celebration for Route 41 at Twin Creeks Park from 4 to 6 p.m. tonight.
After 25 years, Johnny B's Bar and Music Venue in Medford has announced on Facebook that they are officially closing. Throughout the years, many musicians and music lovers would go here for a night of performances. The Music Bar is thanking the community for the many years of support and encourage everyone to continue supporting local art.
The Grants Pass and Josephine Chamber of Commerce have announced that the City Council has unanimously approved to bring back concerts in the park at Riverside Park. Concerts will be taking place near the pavilion at the front of the park until that permanent band shell on the lower festival area is finished. That first concert is going to happen in June of this summer.
The Jacksonville Fire Department is prioritizing wildfire prevention now with a citywide cleanup. The cleanup is for woody material and will be on May 3rd. More details about this will be available closer to the date.
Now, the 43rd annual Southern Oregon Home and Garden Show is returning to Jackson County Expo this weekend, and it starts today. There's going to be over 175 exhibits to view, and visitors can explore the newest home and garden innovations and discover the latest trends. Admission for all 3 days is $5, while kids under 12 enter for free.
Gardening is definitely on a lot of people's minds. We saw some flowers out blooming yesterday, starting spring. Still not quite feeling like spring though for today. We'll see our temperature still below average. We're still dealing with rain and higher elevation snow. Now as we're heading into the rest of the weekend, we'll still continue to see the shower activity for tomorrow, but we're drying out on Sunday and we're seeing temperatures begin to warm up. So I'll go ahead and take a closer look at what you can expect through the weekend and even into next week. We're expecting some of those warmer temperatures in just about 7 minutes.